We are so much delighted to be here, the birthplace of a reformer, one of the greatest person who is accepted, who is granted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and become the friends, the companions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we are very lucky and we are very delighted, and we should be delighted that Allah the Magnificent, the Omniscient, the Omnipresent has granted us to come here, and He, the Magnificent, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gives the capability, the ability to us to come here from the remotest places of the country. That's why we should praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanallah, alhamdulillah. And today I will try to describe the life of Hazrat Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, the kind of the life he has led. I will try to describe it in a nutshell, and I bear no knowledge. I'm ordained and I just follow. I'm trying to follow the order which was I given. I bear not that there are lots of kinds of scholar before me, and I don't have that kind of knowledge. By the mercy of Allah, I'll try to describe about Hazrat Maulana Sufi Mufti Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi's activity or his life. The year was in 1928. In here, he was born, Hazrat Maulana Sufi Mufti Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, in Howrah district. We all know that. And he was born as a line of reputed Saint Faruqi in a landlord family. And his father's name was Raqibuddin Faruqi rahmatullahi alayhi. Hazrat Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, he was the 37th great successor of the second Khalifa of Islam, Hazrat Umar Farooq radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. And the study life, the education life of Hazrat Maulana Sufi Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, he obtained his degree from Kolkata Aliyah Madrasa, and he obtained his profound knowledge of the Holy Quran and Sunnah. And also there was others capability he had. He was dexterous at speaking numerous languages like Arabic, Persian, English, and other languages. After that, he felt empty inside of his heart, that something was missing. And after that, he started finding the thing which was missing from his heart, and he found that he didn't acquire ilm al-batini, ilm al-ma'rifah. In order to acquire, in order to attain the knowledge, ilm al-batini, the unseen knowledge, which can't be acquired by learning the books we are seeing nowadays, the academic rules and regulation, this kind of knowledge can't be acquired. In order to learn, in order to acquire, in order to obtain, in order to gain this kind of knowledge, he approached approximately 23 Kamil Murshid, and among them 8 saint, 8 Kamil Murshid, a granted person. They granted Hazrat Maulana Sufi Mufti Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi among the 8 person. And among the 8 people, Haji Imdadullah Muhajir Mulqi rahmatullahi alayhi, he was the prominent. And after that, he started praying in solitude. Before his house, he made a little home, and there he started praying so hard. And the family of Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, they were against him, for as much as he was a landlord. And in order to get attracted, Hazrat Maulana Sufi Mufti Zangassi rahmatullahi alayhi, Hazrat Raqibuddin Faruqi rahmatullahi alayhi, he got him married to a respectable family in order to attract him to worldly affair. On the contrary, he remained as a detached person, as a segregated person in home, and he was so much absorbed in divine contemplation. He was a landlord. He could lead a luxurious, sumptuous life, but he didn't do that. On the contrary, he led a simple life. And also there were lots of kinds of things he was indifferent to that. He didn't talk to people unless it was indispensable to do so. And after that, he finally decided to leave his heart and home, eschewing, abandoning all affection, all worldly desire, or all kind of property, all kind of wealth which he had. He decided to leave that kind of thing and engaged him in a precise praise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He went from door to door and he approached many pir and murshid to acquire the knowledge, to acquire ilm al-ma'rifa, ilm al-batini. And by acquiring this kind of knowledge, he was lifted to a high station of knowledge. And among his journey, he visited Makkah and Medina, and there he visited Hazrat Maulana Muhazzir Mufti Haji Imdadullah Muhazzir Maqi rahmatullahi alayhi, and he granted him as a representative. And finally he returned his home, and there he set up a hujra, and in the hujra he introduced free classes on Quran, Hadith and Sunnah, selflessly, without accepting any kind of money, any kind of wealth from the people. And then he felt that I should set up a hujra, then he set up a hujra, a non-political organization, and he named the hujra Haqqani Anjuman. And in Kolkata, on Bagmari Road, and there he started inviting people to the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without accepting any kind of money. And some kind of influential people, they were against him, because he was one kind of exception against the worldly rules and regulation. We should always remember, we should always bear in our mind that Quran is the only rules and regulation that we should follow. And when we will be able to follow the Holy Quran properly and precisely, then we will also become an exception to the other religions. They will feel that what kind of things he's doing, because our practice, our rules and regulation is prominent, is so much prominent than them, their practice. And that's why Hazrat Azam Ghazi rahmatullahi alayhi, he was one kind of exception to those kind of people. And among them, two people were dead against them. Their name maybe Buddha and Peru. They were so much against him, and by the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after some time they observed Hazrat Maulana Sayyid Azam Ghazi rahmatullahi alayhi, and they became member of the Haqqani Anjuman. There are lots of kinds of things. In this short amount of time, I won't be able to explain all the story. The main thing that he has given us, and by practicing himself, by practicing this kind of topic, he has become a wali, he has become a companion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that to say prayer 5 times a day on exact hour. This kind of thing, he felt that which is important, and I have become a prosperous person, I should give the advice, give this kind of piece of advice to the people, then they will be prosperous, they will be successful as me. And that's why the first advice that he has given us, to say prayer 5 times a day on exact hour. He was a scholar, and also he has profound knowledge of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah. Allah the Magnificent, the Omniscient, the Omnipotent, He has mentioned in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Mu'min, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون الذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون. Those are the successful, those are the prosperous person who acquire the salah, who acquire, who follow the rules and regulation of the salah properly and precisely in fear. In fear. And that's why Allah the Magnificent, that's why he felt that if we should stick to the basic, then our foundation, our building will be so much stronger. And that's why he gave the first advice to say prayer 5 times a day on exact hour. And also there are lots of kinds of ayah, lots of kinds of benefit if we are able to perform the salah precisely in due time. And the second advice he gave us, that to follow the Haqqani Wajifa and the prescribed supplication. Haqqani Wajifa. Allah the Magnificent, the Omniscient, the Merciful One, He has said us in the Holy Quran that فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةَ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ قِيَامًا وَقُعُودًا وَعَلَى جُنُوبِكُمْ. O mankind, when you have completed the same prayer, then be in the remembrance, be in the commemoration of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, either standing, sitting or lying. And also Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said in the hadith that أفضل الذكر تلاوة القرآن. And following this kind of hadith and ayah, he gave us surahs and kalimas from hadith, and to prescribe a supplication, and also he gave us a prescribed supplication, a certain amount of supplication. And in the supplication, the first verse is kind of like that. The meaning is kind of like that. O mankind, O my Lord, increase your mercy, enhance your mercy on earth, on all the creation that you have created till the final day, till the judgment day. And also we can understand by understanding this kind of verse that he was so much a prominent person, and if we are able to follow this supplication, this practice, then we will be benefited so much. And the third advice that he has given us is to eat food, to have food, to take food which is pure, which is legitimate, which is legal, which is halal. And also Allah the Magnificent, He dictates us to have good food, to have halal food in the Holy Quran in Surah Baqarah. يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. O mankind, have all kinds of food, take all kinds of food which is halal and pure, which is legitimate, which is legal, and do not follow the footstep of Satan, as he is your declared enemy. And the last advice he gave us is that to follow the rules and regulation of Islam as far as possible. And if we are able to follow these four pieces of advice, then we will be lifted to a high station. As Azam Qasir rahmatullahi alayhi, he was lifted, he was elevated, and we will be granted as Azam Qasir rahmatullahi alayhi. And by practicing this kind of advices that he has given us, then inshallah, without counting our deed, we will be able to cross the time breeze. Allah the Magnificent will forgive us, and we will be able to enter the paradise. That's all for the time being. Thank you to pay your utmost attention. If I made a mistake in my speech, please excuse me. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.